Hi, this video is about the use of the Kindle Vocabulary Builder, which in my personal opinion is one of the best features of the Kindle. This is the seldom advertised feature of the Kindle, which helps you collect words without actually having to collect them, and doing all this while you're reading. So then you can practice with them in the Vocabulary Builder using flashcards. So if this is something you're interested in, continue watching. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe and like buttons to help the channel and to be notified when new videos come online. So the Kindle Vocabulary Builder, for some reason, this feature is not talked about that much. And yet, I think it's one of the most powerful tools in the Kindle. One of the beauties of this tool is that it lets you collect words without having to think about them, simply by identifying them while you're reading. When you open the Vocabulary Builder, you have all the words you have selected before, and you can begin your practice. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I collect the words and then how I practice with them. So let's begin. So we opened the book Deerslayer, and I'm using this book because it was written in the 19th century, so it actually contains quite a bit more unfamiliar vocabulary, much more so than a recent book would. And so this way I can collect new words relatively quickly. Okay, so let's start reading. So here in this sentence I have the word atween, which is not familiar, but based on the context I'm quite sure that it means between. But let's just check it. So I put my finger on it, hold it down a little bit, and then nothing comes up. So basically it's not in the dictionary. And that's when it tries to find it in Wikipedia, but it's not even in Wikipedia. And so I have to look up the word elsewhere. I'm using dictionary.com here, and I can see that the word simply means between in dialect. Anyway, so let's go further. So then here I have another word, catamount. I'm guessing it's pronounced catamount, and it's a puma or some kind of large cat. And by looking it up here in the dictionary, it automatically goes into the Vocabulary Builder, as we will see later. But let's just move on and read further. Here's another word, afeared, which I haven't seen. It sounds like afraid, and it does in fact mean afraid. It's an archaic form of the word afraid. Hussy will be another word because I'm guessing it has an archaic meaning, and it's likely that in this case it's used in the meaning of housewife rather than in its modern meaning. Okay, here we have the word mink, and I'm guessing this is the small animal with the valuable fur, but let's check it. Semi-aquatic, stoat-like carnivore, farmed for its fur. Okay, and then I don't know what a woodchuck is. Maybe it's a bird or something. Marmot, with a heavy body and short legs. All right. Okay, then there's this word loping. I know I've seen it before, but I'm not sure what it means. Lop, lopping, cut off a branch from the main body. So I guess I still don't know what it means, and it seems that none of these definitions work for me. And actually they are for the word lop, which is probably different from the word lope, which would be spelled with an E. So I need to look elsewhere, and I'm going to look again in dictionary.com. So I'll type loping in it, and I do get the word lope, which as a verb means to move or run with bounding steps as a quadruped, or with a long easy stride as a person. So probably it's this definition, and the definition we have in the Kindle dictionary doesn't work, doesn't apply here. So this would be a case of not identifying the word correctly. And just to have some variety, let's look at another book, and this would be The Amur River by Colin Thubron, published quite recently, and I've been reading this, and I noticed that it uses a large vocabulary, and there are some words that I'm not familiar with. Okay, here's the word brown, which I've never seen before. Probably kind of horse, denoting an animal, especially a horse or cow, having a coat or a mane color thickly interspersed with hair or another color, typically bay chestnut or black mixed with white. Okay, so it's just the color of the stallion. I don't know, palomino. It's a kind of horse. Okay. Okay, I don't know, gibbets or gibbet. An upright post with an arm on which the bodies of executed criminals were left hanging as a warning or deterrent to others. Okay, so the trees remain upright in death, the charred bark falling away until our path threads between blackened gibbets. So it's kind of like a metaphor or simile. And then the purlieu. I've seen this word, but I'm not quite sure. The area near or surrounding a place. Okay. Okay, I don't know what plod is. Plod as a noun, slow, heavy walk. So the slow, heavy walk of the horses. I think we have enough words now. So let's go and find this vocabulary builder. And the way to do it, I press on the top of the page and these options come up, and there I choose vocabulary builder. And this is where I am. So these are the words that I have looked up in the past few minutes, and they're all here. I didn't have to enter them here. All I had to do was basically press down my finger on the word, hold it down a little bit, and then it showed the dictionary where I could look it up, but then it also added the words into this vocabulary builder. Here I can look at them all together. Because I looked them up just a second ago, I probably know most of them, but actually by looking at it, I'm quite sure I don't. So for example, I know what mink is because I kind of knew that before. Hussy, I remember, of course, because it's a modern word, but it had an older meaning. So I remember that it's a housewife. And then afeard just means afraid. Asters, I think that was some singing bird, and warblers were birds. Diurnal meant daily, during the day. So not nocturnal, but daytime. Prescribed meant forbidden. So let's look up, for example, this word, which was kind of a horse, and it's pronounced palomino. I can look at the dictionary definition, and here we have two different meanings. This was the same definition that I saw when I pressed down on the word. But I can also go to usage and basically look at the same sentence where it was when I found it in this very book, which is extremely useful because I can see it in context. So I like this a lot. I can go back to the dictionary, and then I also can delete it or mark it as mastered. So if I delete it, obviously it's going to disappear from the vocabulary builder, so I will not see it again. If I mark it as mastered, then it will disappear for a short time, but then it will come up later just to test whether I really still remember it. Okay, let's look at this pallor. Unhealthy, pale appearance. Obviously related to the word pale, as we can see from Latin pallere, be pale. And its usage was in this sentence where it was referring to the landscape, the frosty pallor, so this whiteness of the landscape. And again, I can delete it or mark it as mastered, either way. Mink, I would probably delete because I kind of knew this, so I don't really want it here. Afeard, again, it was very easy to guess what it meant, and it's an archaic word, so I probably don't want to spend much time on this. Used commonly by Shakespeare, but rarely after 1700 in written form, so I'll just delete it from here. Okay. So this is how I can go through the words, but probably the better way to do that would be to use the flashcards here. So we can see the same words. Here the words appear in random order, and I see them how they're used, so I don't get the definition. And basically this forces me to remember the usage and also the definition I saw when I looked the word up. But if for some reason I really don't remember what this word was about, I can always press this See Definition link, and then I get the definition right here. Then I can go back to the interface that shows the usage, that is the sentence. And then I can move on to the next word. Here we have potentilla, which is a kind of plant. Just to check it, I can see the definition, and behold, it is a plant, especially a small shrub with yellow or red flowers. So let's say I am confident with this word, I can just mark it as mastered and then move on. Diurnal, I think I've mastered that. I've seen this word before, but just kind of didn't remember what it meant, and now I do. Okay, woodchuck. A mink or woodchuck. So I thought this was a bird, but when I looked it up, it was a marmot. So maybe I shouldn't mark it as mastered because I already forgot that it was a mammal. So I want to remember that, and I want it to come up. And so forth. So prescribed, restricted, or forbidden, I can mark it as mastered. And we can keep going on and on. So that's basically how you use the flashcards. You can exit them, and then you're back to your vocabulary builder. And this vocabulary builder is envisioned as a module that you can open while reading. So if you close it, you're back at the book. Then you can continue reading your book as you left it before. I think it would be useful to have a link at the home page of the Kindle, so you can go straight to vocabulary builder. But if you press on these options here, you don't get a link. So as far as I understand, you access it through reading a book. But of course, the words it contains come not only from this book, but also from other books you've read before. And here actually it already includes words that I have pressed on before while reading other books. So you can see that words like hour, obviously I know the word, but I pressed it by accident, or the screen wasn't sensitive enough. In any case, I know what hour means and I can delete it easily. And the same for threads. I can delete it, and the word original, I can just delete it, and so forth. Okay, so that's my review of the vocabulary builder. I do think it's a really useful tool, and I've been using it quite a bit, and it's really one of the best things in the Kindle. I can add words to it without any effort, just simply by pressing on a word and then seeing the dictionary, and that's it, and it's already in the vocabulary builder. Okay, this is the end of my demonstration, and I hope this video inspired you to use this very handy tool. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, so please write in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.